So once again, I created a Shutterfly book of my art for 2025, some of my favorite pieces, and I thought I'd do a flip through and share it. So this was an interesting project. This was actually originally one single piece, but I'm a big fan of like creating something and then sort of destroying it and creating something different. So I actually cut this 20 by 20 into three different pieces, and I like them. I had a lot of fun in my sketchbooks this year. This is using gouache. And that was a lot of fun, a lot of doodling and so on. And I tried something I hadn't used before. It's called the blot technique, and you're using permanent ink with a rough sketch and then blotting it. And as you can see, the black ink sort of spreads, and then I colored it in using watercolors. Here I was attempting to do some image transfers using my printer and onto like a thin, almost like tissue paper. So this was just an exploration. And of course I do love, doing these pieces as well. Just very relaxing, very mindful. So I enjoy that. My daughter has a pigeon, and so I thought I'd use that blot technique and do a couple sketches of her pigeon Puffin, who likes to perch on her shoes. So that was fun. And again, more sketchbook pieces. This was collage using some really interesting batik pieces, a batik that had been done on paper, and then I cut it up and did some collage with it. My daughter is involved with Greenwood Wildlife. It's a rescue and rehab center in Colorado, and they put out a call for potential t-shirt material, and this was actually accepted, and the t-shirts are available on Bonfire if you're interested. And I was trying to combine some steampunk pen and ink with some watercolor, or not watercolor, I think that is gouache. So I was working with crows and ravens for quite a while. I had quite a series going. And again, some more of the blot technique. And yes, you'll see a number of crows and ravens in this. This is one of my favorite pieces. The background here was actually a painting on canvas with acrylics, and I wasn't happy with it. So I took it off its frame and cut it up, and I sealed it to a board, a 12 by 12 board, and used it as the background. This was a collage. There's some chain from an old watch. So that was really fun to do. This is actually done on a photo that I took when I was in Japan of a raven, and the exercise was using black and white only. My daughter and I did our own art retreat in Santa Fe this year, and we had an amazing time. Did some desire boards and played with gouache, and it was a fantastic 10 days. Got out my alcohol inks and had to play with them. Again, this was just cut up pieces of an acrylic painting that I liked. certain portions of, and I actually just cut them up and put them in my sketchbook. Some more doodling, Zentangle. Another bird. Yeah, this one got a little wild with the crazy colors, but it's pretty vibrant. And I was taking CVP with Nicholas Wilton, and these were two of the panels that I did. Again, I was on that bird theme, and I really do like these quite a bit. Again, mixed media, acrylic with collage using stencils and so on. This was using paint chips from the hardware store, and I was working on the complementary colors. This one actually was what I call a throwaway board, and it just had a lot of paint on it. I really liked the colors, so I decided to do a still life with collage on top of that. Lou Davis, you can find her, she has a YouTube channel. She does these Celtic knots, and just her work is just beautiful. So I was you know, wanting to try that. Yeah, that was enjoyable. Yet another bird. That's acrylic and stencils. I don't think there's any collage on that one. Another bird. That's again using some of my jelly print paper, and I was sticking to a very limited palette. This was an exercise which, sort of awkward to share. They were blind self-portraits. They amused me, so I thought I'd include them in here. These are all jelly prints. I used a child's board book, and I have a lot of jelly print papers that I've made, so I was cutting them up and coming up with different compositions, and I pasted them right into the book. This is using some cannabis leaves on a panel that I did. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how I feel about that one, but it was an interesting process. And then I got into doing sort of surreal, these aren't really too surreal, but collages, just simple, straight up collages. And I was traveling, so I had very limited materials. I had my paint swatches, and I had one magazine and an illustrated botanical book from the 50s. So that's what these are. Then I got, sort of got into more surreal type of collages. This one I do like. It's Drinks with Friends, and it just amused me to see those three ladies, in their swim outfits, in their drinks. This was a very textured jelly print I did. And then again, for 6 months, I basically did very little except collage. These are from Valentine's cards that I came across going through some papers. And I found doing these collages that some of them were humorous, some of them had a message. My hope is that everyone that sees them either finds their own message, maybe sees my message in them, or maybe they just like the composition. So National Geographic is a primary source for the images. This was a oil and cold wax workshop that I took. I struggle with oils. The instructor, Rick Ross, is amazing, but yeah, it's a tough one for me. And then it was back to some more fun collages. And that is the end of my flip through. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe, and I will see you the next time.